And then 5 years later, I finally do the speedrun of the other part of the game. Not going to talk too much about the development of this part because I already discussed that kind of stuff in the LP of this. This whole cutscene here was Harrison. I know I mentioned that before. So I'm probably just going to be talking more about the speedrunning itself here. Upcoming glitch. Yeah, we've got some palette problems here, mostly due to laziness with drawing the character, either using... It had to do with palettes. Anyway, beginning of this section is going to be a lot of cutscene skipping, as you'll soon see. There is a set fastest way of getting through this quiz show, and most of it is going to be showing up as black because you kind of have to just hold down through 4 different screen transitions until you get to a question that you can't answer correctly with a down, and then you go that way. So, in the actual game, I'm able to see flashes of the screens popping up, but they're so fast that the recording didn't actually catch it. So, that's all you're seeing for this. And the reason I'm using the lens of truth so much is because it is the best way to speed up text without going into an item animation after it's over. Because with, I think, any other item, including the sword on the A button, you will basically use the item once the text is done, and then it slows you down by a second, so... yeah, skipping through all this crap. And then we get in here, and now we actually reach the level proper. Here I'm gonna save, and there's my time, 1:49. And then magic occurs, oh my goodness. Editing, thanks to Datai. If you don't know who he is, he's in my subscriptions. Anyway, I'm doing 2 different playthroughs here. As the subtitles explain, one of them is going to be using a continue bug, one of them is not. I'm going to be focusing on the one on the left here. What you just saw there, I go into a pit, and then continue, and there's a bit of a weird thing here, actually. When you continue there, it either sends you into... it basically puts you back where you're supposed to be, or it screws up. I have no idea what causes this, but if you hit retry, it will usually lead you to the bad one. And here's the bad one. So, yeah, if you continue there, you end up in this weird layering section where you get to see the ready-go crap from the minigames. Walk up through this a bunch, and you will end up in a screen that I put here. It's all black, and then that happens. Explanation for that one, while this run is now currently still going through the block maze. What happened there is that I put in as a way of preventing continue bugs, actually, hoping that the game would send you there, which it did that one time, but then it didn't again. So if it sends you there, it should send you back to the beginning of the level. But the problem is, I put in pit warps instead of stair warps, which means it puts you into the same coordinates that you appeared on. So if you come into that room from below, it will stick you in the wall, like I did in the video. And then you can move right and end up in the level 7 knockoff room, which means that you don't have to collect any keys and skip a gigantic portion of the level. So yeah, that's why I'm doing 2 versions of this, because one version skips absolutely everything, and then this version does it the way that you're supposed to do it. So, anyway, after I get both of the keys here, I can continue warp back here. I want to say that the continue warp sometimes takes you to the junction of the 4 different areas. I don't know why it didn't here, maybe it never did. Anyway, going to time tasks, because it's the second fastest one. Minigames is the slowest, and the pit maze is, I think, a minute or 2 slower than these. These are both around the 3-4 minute mark. I actually don't even remember. They might have... yeah. I mean, these, by their very nature, have to be completed quickly, so it's not really too much of a surprise that these are the faster ones. And the first of much Dark Nut fighting, which I think I have actually gotten worse at in this speedrun. yeah, like I said, there's going to be a lot more of it later. Finding a fast way to kill those is going to be important if you're speedrunning this. And then this room just flat out is annoying because it doesn't work half the time. And I missed the boomerang there, which I hate, but I didn't reset as many times as you might think to get this time, because it was really freaking annoying and I kept messing up at easy stuff, so eventually I just got sick of it and settled with this one. It could definitely be improved, but by my standards, it's at least okay. Anyway, get up here. Get a couple keys up here. There's actually another continue bug, which you can use to appear in the top left room, which is the one I'm visiting after this. And there you can get a key immediately, and then get this one without having spent one. But, as with the other continue bug, I don't know what triggers that. It sometimes does it, and sometimes doesn't. But, since this one's not going to be using any continue bugs, I'm just getting them the normal way, and since the other continue bug is faster than that one, then I'm not showing that one. Anyway, saving here. This should technically be another segment now, but... And this is, I didn't do this segment immediately after the last, mostly due to that. You can actually get the candle to shoot out fire before this text starts. And that sounds really, really boring and stupid and like, who the hell cares? But my god, the timing on that is ridiculous. I think it's like frame perfect. I had to keep retrying that one. So anyway, progress through these rooms. Here's the gigantic clusterfuck room of death, which I hate. Getting through this one is just beastly. I didn't get through it that fast here either. I don't know why that Wizrobe respawns, but it always does. And anyway, I want to keep super bombs for the big dark fight at the end. And trying to use recoil damage to bypass the ice there didn't work as well as I had planned. Now we get a couple of breather rooms. I would talk about the making of these, but honestly, I don't even really remember. I basically just took the themes of the levels and condensed it all into one screen. Same goes for this one. I like this room because it has a 2 in it. Kind of a Futurama joke. And because of that crazy thing of death. Anyway, other file now. Now that they're caught up. You can immediately see differences in the playing speed. I don't know why I was so much slower in the natural playthrough. The continue bug one actually has ladders activate in there, though, which is kind of weird. Shouldn't make that much of a difference, but it does. And now the music is terribly off-sync, hooray. But now it's pretty much just a straight run to the end, which is complicated by another Dark Nut fight coming up in a couple seconds here, and the room right before the end, which I would always choke on, but god, differences with playing speed. It's like, hey, on this one I kill all the Dark Nuts in like 2 seconds, other one, no, took a little bit longer. And so, when Datai did the editing on this, he sort of had them sync up a bit better. Don't worry about it. I mean, it doesn't show it in real time, but it'll show a timer at the end. Anyway, this stupid room, I actually would get it most of the time, but as you can see on the continue bug side, I didn't. And the reason I even kept going with this one was because I did so well in the Dark Nut fight and figured that it would kind of make up for the lost time. And I also do really good in the upcoming Ganon fight, as you'll find out. Big Dark fight, rather. God, this fight is so luck-based, honestly. After we get through this cutscene, which I just completely skipped through. Thank God you can skip dialogue. But, yeah, you have to get really, really good at this fight. And I have gone through this fight a lot of times, gotten up to the very end, and then died on the last phase of it. Because if you use a potion, it slows you down by too much. You have to just power through it. And I have most of it down pretty well, but as you're about to see, not well enough. So the first phase is more Dark Nut fighting, using either super bombs or the hammer, depending on how many super bombs you have left, basically. And already, the continue bug side is like a massive amount of time faster than the other one. Reflecting the fireballs isn't too hard, but I sometimes screw it up. And then hooray, more Dark Nuts on the natural side, waiting for them to cluster together so I can hit them with a bomb and then none of them get hit by it. And fun fact, I actually redid... I don't remember which side I redid. I think I redid both of them, and I basically got the exact same time for both of them, so it was an exercise in futility. God, I just hate how desynced they are. It makes me look like such a bad player, but really, it's a lot of luck. Those Dark Nuts, you just have to rely on them walking in good places. If they go far away from you and you have to hunt them down, it takes frickin' forever. And then the various Big Dark boss forms, the Patra form is probably the most annoying. Again, I didn't get lucky with that one. And in this Ganon phase, continue bug side I'm having a little bit of trouble with it. Natural side I should get it in 2 slices. You want to slice where you see him at the beginning, and then right above it. And it works most of the time. Continue bug side just holding on a bit until the other side catches up. And then there you go. After that, it's nothing but cutscene. And you can't skip any of this text. I am really not sure why I made it that way, but... So yeah, this whole part you're just holding down, and either A or B to skip through it, and then that's it. So... was this worth the 5-year wait? Probably not, but... I could not, like, with good conscience, let the speedrun go unfinished. Because, as I said, it is the first thing I ever recorded with a voiceover. And so, that is a pretty major thing, in my opinion. As far as, like, my videos go. And so, it's nice to finally get an end to it. Reason I didn't have Harrison for this segment is because, for one segment, it seemed like way too much of a hassle to, like, find a time when he would be available to talk over Skype and stuff. Because we haven't been in contact for a while, but... most of this he didn't really have much of an input with anyway. He did help a lot with that early cutscene, and a bit with the... Oh, and the pre-Big Dark fight cutscene. He did all that one, actually. And helped a little bit with the fight itself, but the rest of it was mostly me. And this ending cutscene, as I've talked about before, took me like basically a solid week of effort to put that together, and then there it goes, just sped up and totally ignoring the whole thing, but whatever, you've seen it before. I like how they're ever so slightly out of sync here, but... Yeah, that's BA2. What have I not said about this game already? I still think it's a pretty solid game, though I do have to question my choice of having basically levels 4 through 8 all rely almost exclusively on exploration and or getting lost, rather than actually solving puzzles or anything. Some of them are still good levels. I still think 7 is really cool, and I like 4. 5 is flat out terrible. 6 and 8 are kind of meh, but I don't know. I like the way the game turned out. It has a pretty good rating on Pure ZC, surprisingly. And if you still haven't played this game, go ahead and try it out. As always, the best version is 1.92, B183, or B184. There actually is a way to get them to run on Windows 7 pretty reliably. I guess I'll mention that in the description. And outdated credits, yeah, ex-girlfriend listed there. As well as quite a few people in the random shoutouts that no longer matter to me in the slightest, but I'm not going to go back and change the credits. So, that's it. Showing my times here. And that's it for this game. Enjoy the final video on it, and peace out.